And happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and super happy that you're joining me today for a little bit of creating fun. Yes? So, where are we? We're in my CreativeLeeYours studio in Pufftown, North Carolina, for those that don't already know me. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 17 years. Crazy, right? But we are bringing the classroom to you today to create a fabulous collage card that features designer series paper. So you want to see what we're making? I'll show you a glimpse. Yay! All right. So should we get things turned around and get started? Let's do. All right. Let me flip the camera. Yes, perfect. All right, let me get situated over on my other spot. Make sure we are in the proper Facebook group. That's important. Otherwise, you guys cannot find me, right? All right. Oh, good. Hey, Kay, so glad you're here. Happy Tuesday. All right, perfect. So it looks like I am in the right place, so that's perfect. And let me just pull this up and we will get started. Perfect. All right, so what are we doing today? So this, again, I'll bring the card back in. So this is the card that we're creating. And so it's really a white card with a little pop of color, in my opinion. So we've got several layers that we're going to do in there. Of course, you could simplify this if this is a little too much for you and you're not ready for it. But we're really featuring this beautiful hand-penned designer series paper. And then I've used some die cuts from the Meadow dies. I think it's called Meadow dies, yes. And then we're pulling in our sentiment from the Peaceful Moments dies. This is a great sentiment stamp set. So if you don't already have this one, it's definitely worth adding to your list. There's some really great sentiments in here. And of course, this die set is full of fabulousness as well. So let's talk a little bit about the designer series paper before we get started on the project, because, and the reason I want to, is we currently have a 15% off sale. Hey, Ginger, so glad you could join in. During the month of July 2021, you can get select designer series papers from our 2021-2022 annual catalog at a 15% discount. So we are using these so pretty prints from the hand-penned designer series paper. We've got lots of great coordinating colors and a really nice mix of floral prints as well as some patterns that you can mix and match. So you can see that, but there's 8 more. So I want you to see those as well. So Beauty of the Earth is another one of them that you can enjoy a 15% discount on it now. It's got some great colors in there as well, some good prints. Again, there's some leafy looking, although I'm actually going to use one of these prints in a non-leaf fashion for my Forget Me Not class this month. So you'll be able to see that in the blog soon. And then Bloom Where You're Planted, which is another fabulous one. Again, we've got these great prints on the back that are real super neutral. And then you've got the more, the busier prints, I guess you could say, on the other side. And then this particular one, you can cut a lot of these images out either with the dies or by hand with your scissors. Just fussy cut them out and use them as elements on your project. So great pack there. The next one is In Good Taste. Now, this one is a carryover from the last catalog, and instead of 6 double-sided designs for 12 prints, there's actually 24. So you've got this side, and then there's a whole nother set of them. So this has all kinds of fabulous, great textures in it that you can mix and match with your project. So another great pack to have. Next is In the Wild. Super fun. If you like cats, big cats, that is. This has some great images on that. And then even if you don't, there's some really good prints on the back side as well. You know, who doesn't like a little, what is that, a cheetah print or a lion? I guess that's a tiger print. So you can use those for other things. You don't have to jump into the big cats. And then you've got a couple florals in there as well. All right, next, Pansy Petals. So this one also has some really nice floral images, but I love the ginghams on the back side, and you've got some stripes and just some geometric shapes there, which is a really nice paper pack as well. Yes, Jennifer, it is. It's some great paper. Hey, Jean, so glad you jumped in. Sweet Symmetry is another one that's in the sale. And this has got some really great prints as well. So you can see you've got your multicolor prints, and then you've got your little more subtle tone on tone prints on the back sides, which is nice as well. So whichever your feel is, and you can mix and match those. Next, Tidings of Christmas. Love this paper pack. It's really, really nice. And I think it can be used for way more than just Christmas when you look at all of these fabulous prints. I think I might have put that upside down. Maybe not. I was looking at it as sprigs, but if you turn it, it kind of looks like Christmas trees. Oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter, really. You can use it either way. All right. And then last but not least, You're a Peach 12 by 12 paper is the last one. Again, some really nice geometric prints. And then you've got the busier patterns with the peaches and the florals in it as well. So anyway, 9 different paper packs that you can currently purchase and get a 15% discount. Yay! Gotta love the designer paper sale. So this is a great time to stock up. So of course, we are going to feature the hand-penned designer series paper today for this lovely project. So you guys ready to jump in? All right. Don't forget that if you are enjoying the projects that I am sharing, I'd appreciate it if you would leave me comments or and share actually with your crafty friends that you think might enjoy it. Send them my way. Hopefully they can join us, right? All right, we are going to start off with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of thick white cardstock for my card base. So I think I've mentioned this to you guys numerous times. I like using thick white and vanilla when I'm using it for a card base for the most part. My layers, I can use the regular, but I do like the thick. And then I like to use the bone folder to give it a nice good crease so the card lays properly. All right, next we are going to bring in a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 inch by 5 inch. Now I will add the complete supply list and cut dimensions after the video to the description. The way that I go live via Facebook, they've changed some things, of course, and they're not allowing me to put my full content in ahead of time. So I'll edit it at the end, and then I can add that with no worries. All right. All right. So next I've got a piece of 1.5 inch by 5 inches basic white, and I've added texture to this. So these are the Greenery Embossing folders. Let's see if I can move some of this out of the way, and you can kind of see those a little bit. Well, maybe if I hold them up like that. So this one is really nice because it's got the embossed images on the top and bottom. So that makes a really nice effect. And then this one is the texture throughout. So that's the one I used, was the texture throughout, to add a little bit of texture onto this little strip here. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this onto this layer. And on my original sample, I think I got it a little too close to this edge. So I'm going to slide it over a little bit more. Not quite centered, but a little bit more to that side. So I'm just going to put it down with some Stampin' Seal. Now, if you've had some experience where when you go to put your adhesive on the back, it's ripping your paper, it's because our adhesive is so darn sticky. So you could try using a liquid glue if that's happening, or you could put the adhesive on the layer that you're adhering it to. I like to put it on the smaller layer, but sometimes you got to change it up a little bit, right? So that you can deal with all the fun stuff we got going on. All right, so let's go ahead and take this layer and just pop it right up on our card base. I'm going to use some dimensionals. You do not have to pop this up. You can choose to do yours flat if you prefer, but of course I like all the popped up layers. So that's what I'm going to do. So really today's project is pretty simple. Again, I'm letting it really be more about the designer series paper than anything else. And I think it's a great card. You can change your sentiment up. I did this one as a friend, but you could use this for a birthday, a wedding, an anniversary. I think it would work fabulously for that as well. All right, next I've got a piece of the designer series paper, and this is 3 inches by 4.5. And I'm just going to adhere this right down. And I'm kind of looking, I want these 3 sides equal. So I've got a larger space on this side. And that's okay, because that's what I'm wanting. So I can see a little bit more of that paper. So let's go ahead and adhere that down with our Stampin' Seal. Maybe. All right. Very nice. And so you can just see that little texture peeking out on that white layer. It's so nice. I love it anyway. Okay. Next, let's bring in a piece of 2 7/8 by 3 7/8 basic white. And I'm going to adhere a 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece of designer series paper. Now, I chose a different print than I used on my original card for this layer here, because I thought it went really nicely with that same print. So just showing that you can mix and match this up a little bit based on the feel, the color combination that you're wanting to do. I could have done a different floral print as well, but I'd already cut it and I decided, nope, I'm just going to use what I've already got ready. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and place this, and I want to pop this one on here, kind of offset, but not over all the way to this edge. And I'm going to use dimensionals for that one as well. Again, you don't have to use dimensionals if you don't want all the height. It's fine. It'll be just gorgeous either way. You guys having a good start to your week? I hope so. All right, let's go about there. Okay, next, let's bring in our die cuts. So I've actually already die cut a few pieces. So let me bring them in and bring in the dies, and I'll show you which ones I used. That way you guys don't have to watch me do it. So I pulled in 2 of the garden green pieces, and I used this die here to cut those. Okay. And let's see, those measured, let's see, I think it was 2 inches by 5.5 to cut the garden green. All right. Then I've got a piece of basic white that I used to cut this one right here, right? Make sure I'm in camera so you can see me. So this image right here. And let's see, this was 2 1/4 by 4, I believe. And then I just pulled in a scrap of the Misty Moonlight and used this die to just cut that little flower head. I could have cut a full piece, but then I'd clip it off anyway, so it was fine to just use a scrap. All right, I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet because I want to build this little collage here. And I'm going to do that off of my card, and then I will adhere it to the card. All right, so let's start with a little bit of liquid adhesive on one of these stems. Oh, good, you're having a great week so far, Jean. That's awesome. All right, so just a smidge of the liquid adhesive. And I'm just going to layer this. Actually, I'm going to go a little higher. So I want one to look longer than the other one. And I want to spread out just a smidge there. All right, so I'm just laying those out like that. Let's put a little bit of liquid glue on the back of the white. I'm not gluing the whole thing down. I'm just putting a little bit here and there, because I don't want it to fall off the card, but I also like the appearance of it hanging loose a little bit, I guess you could say. All right, so we'll lay this one down and kind of eyeball where we want that. I think that looks pretty darn good right there. And the reason I'm using the silicone craft sheet is because if I get adhesive anywhere I don't want it, it's fine, because I'll be able to lift it and peel it right off the silicone craft sheet in the end, which is nice, right? All right, and then let's add a little bit. Actually, you know what? I think I'll pop that one up with dimensionals. We're going to hold off on that one just a minute, and I'll add dimensionals to that one. All right, let's pull this out. Let's add a little bit more liquid adhesive to the back in case it's dry already, just to get a few of my spots down on the card front. Looks like I got a little bit left from earlier. Again, I don't want to do the whole thing, but I want enough to secure it so it's not going to fall off. All right. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want this to fall. So I could have spread these out a little bit more, but I've kind of kept them in a pretty good cluster here for this one. And I want them angled, but I want to make sure I'm not going past the outer edges of my card when I'm laying in all my layers here, because I want to be able to slide this into an envelope if I want to pop it in the mail. Okay, let's use a couple of dimensionals for this little flower here. You know what? I think I'm going to switch to minis. I could use some big ones, but I think if I've got some minis handy, I do. I'm going to pull in some mini dimensionals so I can add a few more. I could have used just regular and just put one on there because I think it would have fit really well in that center area. But I wanted a little more stability. So I pulled in the minis there. See if we can get the backing paper off of that. Perfect. All right. So I think I'm going to put it maybe right there. We'll see how that works out. Okay, let's do our sentiment next. So I've got a piece of basic black cardstock that I've cut. Let's see, it is, well, 3.5 by 5/8 is what I think it is. And then I'm going to pull in my embossing buddy. Now I know we don't sell this anymore. If you have one, I still recommend using it. You know, I've tried a few other things. You could try some talc powder. I don't think it works as well. I know there's a lot of home remedy versions of that. You just really need something anti-static if you can get your hands on it. I've tried a Swiffer sheet. It works okay, not great. Now, let's see if I can get this on here and somewhat straight. That's going to be the challenge because I don't always get my stickers on straight. So sometimes that does not work out. All right, white embossing powder, here it is. All right, so I dump all my embossing powders into a plastic container because I don't want to mess with the little small jars. You do what makes you happy, right? Let's just get some of that excess off of there. Nice, not too bad. I'm a little crooked, so I'm gonna go with it. Not too bad. All right, let's bring in our heat tool. And you know what? I do have some tweezers handy. And since this embossing goes pretty close to the edge, I'm going to grab my tweezers and bring in my heat tool. Yes, so Amazon, they do. Yeah, anti-static. I hate to send somebody to someplace else to buy your products, but since we don't sell it, if you are having problems with your embossed images and getting powder everywhere, I just find it works. It's a handy tool to have. So one of those things you have to get from somewhere else. All right, so we're going to heat emboss this, and hopefully I can bring it up so you guys can see the magic of the powder changing. Hopefully you guys were able to see that. I never can tell if you can or not. Looks like my focus might be a little out of focus. Is that better? Maybe? You guys will have to let me know if you're seeing blurry. All right, so as you heard, my heat tool, I'll bring it back in so you can see it a little bit more. So this is an old Stampin' Up! Heat tool. I've had it a million years. The tip's not even covered. I mean, that's at least 2 generations ago, but the thing still works. Granted, you heard it. It sounded like it's almost on its last leg, but for whatever reason, this is still my favorite one. I've dropped it numerous times. It's cracked. It's got all kinds of stuff, but it's just my go-to one. I don't know why. The newer one is kind of a tan color. It's got 2 speeds. Maybe it's a Sahara sand. All right, so you've got your sentiment there, and we're just going to pop this right here on the front. Oh, I'm pretty happy with that placement. So I want it to come right across here. So I'm gonna have it flat on this flower, okay? But I want it popped up here, and to make sure it's nice and secure, I'm gonna put a couple dimensionals here. So let's kind of see where we want it. So right there, I'm gonna put my finger. That way I know I'm placing it in the right place. And I need to put 2. And the reason being is because I'm popping it up on this layer, and this layer is already popped up on this one. So let's double stack that right there. Okay, so that's going to let that lay flat. And then let me add a second dimensional somewhere in the middle, just for security here. And then I am going to put a small amount of liquid glue where it's overlapping the flower that's already popped up. Whoa, this is where it would have been good to have my silicone craft sheet out. All right, and so I'm placing this, I want it not quite all the way to the end, but really close. And hopefully that's somewhat straight. Cute. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. How in the world do you say that, Jean? Diatomaceous earth? Am I saying that right? You can make your own. That sounds like a lot of work to me. I would rather just buy it and make it easier. But I know that you're very good at like weaving your own fabrics and all kinds of crazy skills that you got going on. So I can totally see you making your own. Too fun. All right. So next I'm going to bring in some Geniale Gems. Geniale Gems. How do you say that? I'm going to call them Geniale. I don't know if that's right. Geniale. Maybe I'm pronouncing it too much. All right. We're going to throw a few of these little guys on. How about that? Some gems. Some fabulously glittery metallic-y gems. Ooh, so pretty. And see, I used the green one from the pack on the green background, greenish background, and then this other one here. One of the things I really like about these gems is that they do kind of pick up the color of what you're putting them on. So obviously green is not gonna not be green at all, but I put it on some other colors and you don't see it, like the green color is a little different. It blends in really nice. Same thing here. I've put these on purples and pinks and all kinds of other colors, and it works out very, very nicely. So I really like it. Okay, so we can't leave the inside of the card naked. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of decorating on the inside as well. I wanted to leave the inside blank so that when I'm ready to use this, I can customize it for whatever my occasion is. So life is better with a friend like you. Oh my gosh, I could use that just to say hello, drop somebody a note, check in with somebody that maybe isn't feeling well or has had something happening in their life. So I just want to, let them know I'm thinking of them, or somebody's birthday. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that you can send a card that says life is better with a friend like you, right? You could use it as a thank you, all kinds of things. All right, so I've got just a few layers here. I'm going to slide this over. I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight that is, let's see, 3 3/4 by 5. So it's the same size as this white layer that we put on the front here, but we're going to put that on the inside. And then I've got a piece of basic white that's slightly smaller. So it is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And then I've got a little 1/2 inch strip of designer paper just to bring the design to the inside, since I chose not to put a sentiment in there. So let's go ahead and adhere all these down. We're going to use our Stampin' Seal. Oh, good. You guys are liking it? I'm glad. So it's really all about the designer paper today. We've got so many gorgeous papers. So I think, Jean, you actually sent me a message asking me if I'm going to do a paper share for the new mini catalog. So I am going to do a paper and ribbon share. I have not gotten that all written up and posted and figured out yet. So it's on my list of things to do, but I have Forget-Me-Not, my card club projects due this week, and tutorials and all of that fun stuff, and a face-to-face class this weekend. So that has to be done first. Yes, and then we'll get our paper share all scheduled up. All right, so those are adhered together. Let's go ahead and add some adhesive and put this on the card inside to finish it all up. So yes, so shares will be coming very, very soon. And it's exciting right now because demonstrators get to pre-order. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Demonstrators get to pre-order out of the new mini catalogs right now. So we get our hands on goodies early, which is always a good time. One of the big perks of being a demonstrator. So if you are someone that would like to take advantage of that, let me know. We'll get you hooked up on the team. We'd love to have you as a diamond. And you can even take advantage of the paper sale, the pre-order, and get your discount on all of it. So it's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. So, all right. So I hope you guys loved this card today and can see some uses. You could use all kinds of different designer series paper. Yes, Jean, you are right. Another big perk of the pre-order right now. And actually, it doesn't even matter what we order as a demonstrator. Any orders that we place, we are actually earning celebration rewards a month ahead of time. So we have a celebration coming up August and September. which is super exciting. This is the first time that I'm aware of that we've done 2 celebrations in a year. So I just can't wait to see all the great products and get my hands on them and start playing with them. So we've got some super cute things coming. So, oh, good. Kay, you love this? I'm so glad. Thank you so much. So hopefully you guys will give this a try. And again, I will go back and put the complete supply list so that you can purchase all the items that you need. There'll be links to everything and the cut dimensions so you guys can recreate this one on your own with your own fabulous designer series paper. All right, thank you. And again, don't forget to share this with your crafty friends. And if you're watching on replay, I would appreciate you subscribing to my YouTube channel. All right, have a great week and I will catch you next Tuesday. Bye for now.